Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jordan Cameron back with another update video and one more year, guys, or I guess I should say approximately about 11 more months of what I expect to happen. But today we're going to talk about the Bitcoin chart, the total market cap chart of crypto, our stablecoin dominance Wyckoff accumulation chart, and what that means for the crypto market for the next 11 months and what I expect here in sort of the medium term and long term for Bitcoin. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and let's jump on in. So Bitcoin has found itself. In last video, I think we were around the low 90Ks, and we said, okay, we probably expect Bitcoin to come into this weekly demand zone between about 77,000 to about 89,000. And I do expect Bitcoin to get some type of relief rally back to the 50-week moving average band after we dipped from 77 to about 89,000, right? And Bitcoin has found itself. We did get a move back down to about 80, a little under 81,000. We got about 80,600. And so far, we've seen a move back up to about 89,000. Now, this is where it gets kind of dicey. And my personal opinion, guys, just to make it very, very clear, is I do believe that if we do, right, if it's not guaranteed, and my longer term thesis now is that we're about to go into a 1 year bear market, just like every single cycle, that any type of short-term relief rally back up to the 50-week moving average, which right now is between 100,000 and about 102,000, which it'll move down now since we are below the 50-week moving average band. Any relief rally back up to that is just a further continuation back down to the downside. And we're going to talk about why today, and a little bit more that goes into it. But just to kind of, go over what we can expect now and on the channel. If you were following the channel before, right, our thesis was that crypto market was going to continue up unless Bitcoin broke the 50 moving average band. And over here on the week of November 10th, we broke the 50 moving average band. So now our thesis switches to we are in a approximately about 52-week bear market or a 1 year bear market. Now you might be saying, why do you say that, right? Well, we can go over all the things that, this time is different, and, something different is going to happen this time for Bitcoin in the crypto market. I just don't think that something different is going to happen. I think we're going to see the same bear market that we always see, right? Every 4 years, right? And it lasts approximately about 1 year. If you look, back at the bear market of 2021 to 2022, right? There was 52 weeks from the top, right, to the bottom. If you look at 2017, we hit the high. It was 52 weeks from the top to the bottom. And, right, we go over here back in 2013. It was actually 59 weeks this time. It was actually longer that time from the top to the bottom. So my expectation is that Bitcoin is going to enter a bear market, or already has entered a bear market from the week of October 6th. And is going to be in a downwards move, right? With higher highs and higher lows, you're going to have bounces from this point to, October of at least October of 2026. Okay. That's my base expectation. And that's just based on what's happened in the past. Now you might say, how do we know the top is in, right? How can we be sure that the top is in for Bitcoin? Well, we're never really sure, right? I mean, 3 weeks from now, Bitcoin could be pumping up to new highs, and we might have to change our mind and our thesis. But, as we kind of go along, you have to be willing to turn with the tide, right? And the tide turn was Bitcoin closing below the 50-week moving average band, right? Why? Well, every single cycle, once Bitcoin broke the 50 moving average band, right, that was further the confirmation that you already hit the top, right? Your top was in, and now you should be looking towards a 52-week bear market from the highs, right? That's what it was over here in 2021. You broke the 50 moving average band right here. That confirmed the top was in. Measure 52 weeks. That's when you expect the low to come in, right? 2017, you broke the 50 moving average band. That confirmed that your top was already in, right? And you're looking for a move down for 52 weeks from the high to the low. And obviously back in 2014, right, you broke the 50 moving average band right here in 2014. That confirmed your top was in, right? And you're looking for at least this time it was 59 weeks, but at least a 52-week move from the top to the highs. And I don't believe that this cycle is going to be any different. A lot of people are going to argue why this time is going to be different, right? They're going to start the money printer. Things are about to go nuts to the upside. And while that may be true, right? Nothing's guaranteed in this market. And for all we know, the 4-year cycle could end, right? And Bitcoin could push up to a new high. But my expectation firmly is that the 4-year cycle is going to play out again, right? And if you look at where we are, we're in November 25th. I would expect the high for Bitcoin by the very least to be in by December 31st. And that only gives us a month. So even if you do believe that price is going to push higher from here, that only gives you about a month if you still do believe in the 4-year cycles, okay? Which I firmly do believe in the 4-year cycles, all right? So as we kind of go along here, my expectation is I don't think this time is going to be any different. Now, how could we flip on that and say, okay, I'm wrong, right? Well, simply if Bitcoin gets a weekly closure, right, back above the 50 moving average band. So Bitcoin gets a weekly close back above, at this point, 102,000, right? We can say, okay, this time is acting a little bit different. Bitcoin's reclaiming back above the 50 moving average band. That's something it's never done, right? So this time may be different. As of right now, nothing different is firmly happening, right? We've broken the 50 moving average band. I expect at some point from somewhere, who knows where, a retest of the 52 moving average band. I've already de-risked in about the mid 95Ks, right? I took profits on, Bitcoin stack up here anyways, but also, right, I did de-risk about 80% of my Bitcoin and Ethereum when Bitcoin was in about the mid 95Ks because we got the weekly closure below the 50 moving average band. I think it was right around 95,000 where we closed that week. I de-risked there, and so far so good. That's been a pretty good call. Doesn't mean we can't go back up to 100,000 and I could actually be down on that. But nevertheless, even if we don't get a move back up to the 50 moving average band, right, I am firmly in the bearish camp and do believe that we are going to see some type of low come in for Bitcoin in October. At least, right? This could go on longer, but at least October of 2026. And if history has taught us anything, Bitcoin tends to always go lower than you expect it to go, okay? And you're going to have a lot, in my opinion, between now and October 6th, you're going to have a lot of people calling bottoms every 2 days, right? Every 2 weeks, every 2 months. But if history is any indication, it has simply been better to wait for the 52 weeks to eclipse, right, before making any gestures, right? In my opinion, I'll personally be waiting until that first week of October before I even look to deploy any of the Bitcoin capital that I've sort of got out of, right? And in about the mid 95Ks and higher from the, when we basically were just taking profits on the way up, right? I'll look to deploy that capital sort of in Q4 of next year. And I don't think there's any rush to do so, because even if you do think that the market's just going to continue up, right, usually there is some consolidation and, right, basically you would have to get it back above the 50-week moving average anyways. So my firm stance is that Bitcoin is going to continue down with lower highs and lower lows, right? And that's also evidenced by a few other things, right? Our stablecoin dominance chart, which has actually did break back above finally for the first time in about 3 years, broke back above this 8.71% level. And if you do get back above that and hold it, right now it's retesting. If you actually get back above and hold that, that firmly sort of confirms our stablecoin dominance Wyckoff accumulation with 2 lower lows, right? And then a massive macro higher low before pushing up. And this would just be one giant Wyckoff accumulation, which if ultimately my old thesis of this total market cap going up was of the assumption that stablecoin dominance was going to continue down. But ultimately my thesis always said that this was going to go up, right? Whether we actually went down lower, I always was expecting stablecoin dominance Wyckoff accumulation, this to actually skyrocket up, right? And ultimately total market cap to get that sort of decline, whether we did get the blow off top or we didn't. I was expecting the dot-com bubble 2.0 in crypto as a scam phase to start. And I do firmly believe that we are in just the beginning phases of the sort of dot-com bubble 2.0, and the crypto is a scam phase. Okay. where most of the altcoins will go to zero. I do believe about 90% of the altcoins will go to zero in this bear market because most of them are completely worthless, right? There are some useful ones, but I do believe that total market cap going down to here will push many coins to literal zero. Maybe by the end of next year, okay? As people just realize that most of these altcoins, most of these million altcoins that exist, literally have no fundamental value, okay? Some of them do. I believe in some of actually altcoins that could have some future use cases, but 99% of them, absolutely useless, right? And I like to call them digital beanie babies because a lot of them are digital beanie babies. Like I said, some useful, not all digital beanie babies, but a lot of them digital beanie babies. All right. Anyways, besides that, right, you also can come look at total market cap, simply breaking our COVID line, right, where we held up this whole cycle in this low, right, in 2024 low, in 2025 low, and we finally broken back below that with multiple weekly closes. Ultimately, even if Bitcoin and total market cap push higher, once again, my outlook still is that it will be a lower high. And my overall assumption is Bitcoin, and just is mainly talking about Bitcoin at this point, because in any type of bear market, I think Bitcoin is mainly the one that makes the most sense to talk about. Everything else just kind of follows Bitcoin in that sense. Even if we do get a relief rally up, I think it'll be a lower high. But ultimately, I do think that Bitcoin continues to trend down, right, with relief rallies here and there towards the end of 2026, just like every single 4-year cycle. I don't think anything else really matters unless Bitcoin is able to reclaim back above the 50-week moving average, which it has never done in any single cycle. Okay, so that's kind of it, fellas. I'm gonna keep it nice, sweet, and short today. I think we got about 11 months to wait, right? I think it's time to wake up. If you are someone with bull goggles on, I think it's time to sort of just look at the facts in the chart, look at the facts of the 4-year cycle, look what's always happened in every 4-year cycle in Q4, right? Below the 50-week moving average. Wake up, look at the charts, and sort of make your own analysis on what you think is going to happen next. Okay, based on the charts, not based off feelings. All right, anyways, been your boy Jordan Cameron. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Subscribe if you're new, by the way.